Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday afternoon. I don't really know what time it is. It's probably 3:30, something like that. Man, it looks bright and sunny out here because it is. It's beautiful out, but it is something like 45 degrees, and there's a 20-mile-an-hour wind blowing. So what do? I come out and sit in the middle of the yard, in the middle of the wind, and I attempt to smoke a cigar on camera. That is the intelligence of the man before you. Anyway. It is beautiful out. It's just chilly and windy. Hey, we had a beautiful sunrise this morning, so I'm going to show that to you next. And then the dogs are all having fun, so I'll show that to you, and then we'll come back and chat. All right, guys, so I just show you the Kwanzan cherry trees, and we've got 4 of them here. They're getting close to peak, and it's super windy out, so they might get blown apart. So I'll do another video if they actually get a little better, but they look pretty good. Pretty sweet looking trees. And we'll do an early dog review. There's frickin' Frack. And there's Echo. Echo's all excited. Come here, girl. Yeah, he's sweet. There's Chance over there being Chance. Looks like he might be having some fun. He doesn't like being watched when he's having fun. We'll go back over to the hooligans. Like all 4 of them in the same picture. Echo's not too sure about that. Oh, she's gonna play. Alright, that's enough dog video. There's Chance being Chance. Alright, guys, we're smoking the Perdomo 30th anniversary again. Punch cut as always. Anyway, I actually got it lit out here in the wind. Probably gonna burn like a canoe today, but anyway, we got it lit. Good so far. Anyway, nice light cigar. Light plus, a little spice to it, especially on the retro. It's a nice cigar. I like the size of it. It's a little bit longer, lasts a little bit longer out here. Alright, we'll go with the single hood option for now. See if that'll keep enough wind out of my ears and off my head. If not, we'll bring the big boy up. It looks so much warmer than it is. And the sun, I can feel the sun trying, but man, 45 and windy is pretty chilly out here. Sasha was having a little bit of fun there for a minute. There you go. She must have found something stinky she wants to smell like in the house tonight. I know they dug up a mole or a vole or something, so probably good and stinky and rotted now. Amory will really appreciate that. Look at my good dog. Look at this. This is Echo just sitting here with like a footrest for me. Yeah, you're a good girl. Uh-oh. It's like Finn is jealous of this being stinky. Finn wanted a close-up too. He's a good boy. My boy. He's the sweetest dog I think we've ever owned. All he wants is to be close and pet and have a belly rub. Pretty much her criteria too, but she likes to eat. So yesterday, had a bit of a video disaster. Filmed this entire 24-minute video. My best ever, probably. I was doing it from the front porch like the OG days, and I had Chance out with me in the front yard, which I know better than have dogs out in the front yard with me. And the Amazon guy pulled up. Well, you've seen how personally he takes that, so Chance takes off after the Amazon guy, only now he's got no fence in between him. So I have to jump off the front porch and go get the guy. Well, this microphone, when it gets too far away from that piece that plugs into the phone, clicks off. Apparently, the distance from where I left my phone to the Amazon van was long enough that this mic clicked off and I didn't know it. So literally at the halfway mark, the mics click off, and the remaining 12 minutes of the video goes silent. Oh, dagger. It was freezing yesterday and pouring down rain and windy. I just said, F it. No video today. Part of the trials and tribulations of being a video contributor, I guess. So far, so good. Today's video is up and running so far. The force is strong with that one. I feel like I look like the Emperor. Yep. It's not going to make it look a whole lot better today. Finn, stop barking. Well, I either had to kill the video and be done for the day or put the big hood up, so that's what I've done. It's a fine cigar. This is my honorable mention 4, by the way. It's not my top 10. I have 2 other Perdomos in the top 10. I have the Perdomo Habanero Maduro and the Perdomo Champagne 10th Anniversary. Those are my top 10. This is a great stick. It just didn't make my top 10, but I got a bunch of them in the new humidor, so. The humidor, by the way, if any of you end up buying a plug-in humidor, and it says leave the door open for 24 hours to let any factory smells out, then close it up, get it all set up, and let it run from 1 to 3 days. And I'm going to give you advice and say make it more on the 3-day side. And let me tell you why. The cedar, so I don't think the humidor during its construction process, storage process, shipping process has ever been humidified. And so the wood is unbelievably dry, and the wood has sucked up a half a gallon of water out of my water jug, the one that's inside, for the humidor. I just happened to check it yesterday. It was dry. I was like, holy smokes. So I filled it up. It was dry again today. So I know it's the wood pulling the humidity out, sucking that water vapor up. The danger is the wood will actually suck the humidity out of your cigars if you don't have it done right. The wood considers itself the master. So If there's water, it'll pull vapor, and if water vapor, and if it doesn't have it, it'll pull it out of your cigar. So be really careful. So I went with 24 hours and 24 hours, and I should have filled it up with water and let it be sealed for 2, 3, 4 days. But anyway, lesson learned. I will fill it every day until it stops needing to be filled. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that since this made me think of it, because this is in my bottom drawer, which is the big bin drawer. The other thing I would look for if you do get a humidor is, a couple guys mentioned this, when I pull the drawers out, it has sides so you can leave them piled up. If you get more than two high, two stacked on top of each other, and you pull an unsided drawer out, they'll fall out, and it's really annoying. So make sure your drawers have sides on them. It makes a big deal, because for me, I have to be able to pull that drawer out, because I've got 2, 3, 4 different kinds of sticks on each shelf. So I can't really reach in or even see to the back side of the shelf. So I have to be able to pull them out. So thank God I didn't look for that when I bought it. It just happened to have them. So sides on your shelves, and let it operate without sticks in it. Fully operational for at least 3 days. Make sure you're not filling up the water every day before you stick your sticks in them. There's your humidor lesson for the day. All right, guys. So I've got 2 subjects for us today. The first is a trading, so a finance item, and that's got 2 parts to it. And then I've got a social media content discussion I want to have with you guys. So we'll do social media first, and then we'll switch to trading. And obviously I'll tell you when I do that. So if you don't want to hear about social media use, you need to come off. And if you're not interested in trading, you want to come off, because this is the end of the tobacco portion of the video. So hey, before I get into the subjects, I just want to, again, talking to Mark. Mark, I didn't mean for you to cancel your trip based on my comments, that's for sure. So I feel bad about that. But let's continue talking about it, and I hope others will jump in the comments or do their own video or talk to Mark, however you talk to Mark. But Mark, I don't care what month you do this trip. I don't care how long you're here in the United States. The trip you have planned is going to be almost impossible, in my opinion, without a rental car. Would you call it a car hire? I just don't understand. I just think the concept you British, UK, EU, European people bring to the United States doesn't transfer very well. Your experience with what you call public transportation doesn't really exist here. In Chicago, there's some public transportation, in New York City, in downtown Boston. But the train system here does not work like you think it does. It's an Amtrak-based system, and it's great from Boston down to D.C. But other than that, it's pretty spotty. And there's really no train service anywhere else. So there's some subway service inside the major cities, but that's just for inside the cities. And most of the places you're going are not inside the major cities. So to get from the major airport to the houses of the people you're talking about visiting is a long journey, and I don't know how you're going to do it without a rental car. Because around the cities you can use Uber and you can use taxi services. But once you start getting an hour, 2 hour, 3 hours out of the city, I just don't know how you're going to do it without a rental car. And rental cars are expensive, man. They can run a couple $100 a day. And these little intra-U.S. flights you're talking about, like if you fly into DC, fly into New York, and then you got to fly to Chicago, or you got to fly to Boston. I guess you could take Amtrak. You could take the train down to DC, Amtrak to DC, or you fly into Dulles. Dulles to Johnny's is still a 3-hour drive, I believe, one way. So, and Paul, wherever he ends up, if he stays in his current city, which I think he wants to, is not really near an airport. At least, I mean, you might be able to take a puddle jumper into a regional airport. But man, I'm telling you, not just take more time planning it, but actually get out a map or use Google Maps and just see how long these things are, how far apart, how far away the house is you want to go visit from an airport. And I think you're going to need a rental car. And, you're not going to need one for the 2 or 3 weeks. You're going to need one for this 3 or 4 days, one for this 3 or 4 days. Boswell's is near nothing. So, Boswell's is a couple hours from an airport. So, anyway, I think you have a great idea with your trip. I just think how you're going to go about it is you're going to spend a lot of money on airline tickets inside the U.S., and you're going to spend a lot of money on renting cars. So, anyway, just that's enough on that. I didn't want you to kill your trip based on my comments. I don't care how long you're going to be here or what month you do it. I just think you're going to spend a lot more money than you think you're going to. And until you start doing like Google Map mile planning, I just don't think you really understand how far apart these things are and how remote some of the places are you say you want to go. Anyway, that's enough of that. All right, guys, topic number 1 for the video today is social media. Most of us are pretty rugged individualists, and F you, it's my channel, I'll put on what I want. And I'm a proponent of that. I take that opinion from my own channel. It's my channel, I will put on what I want it. That is not the topic I'm trying to get to. So just the rest of the conversation, just know I'm not talking about your freedom to choose whatever content, whatever attitude, however you want to use your airtime. That's not the point. My point is what we choose to put on our channels can affect other parts of our lives. Potter Piper is a good example. You see, he's really careful about what he talks about, how he talks about it. He basically sticks to Jilly, his pipes, his tobaccos. He doesn't talk a whole much else about it because, he's part of the Catholic Church and they care about how their priests present themselves in the public eye. And he has congregations, I think, too, that he either doesn't want to be associated with his channel, or if they do watch, they don't get all offended. So that's one example. Another one is Morg, Dave at St. Dave's. He told us the story about he did one video where he's wearing his work shirt, and I don't know if lost their mind is right, but got upset and had a meeting with him about, let's not be doing that. So just 2 real-time examples. The reason I'm bringing it up is 2-part. One is we are headed into a bad economy worldwide, at least in the Western world, but that means most of my viewers. Companies are going to be making decisions on who they can keep and who they should release. It is my opinion that if 2 employees are tied in performance, they have to decide which one gets released. They will go out on social media and find out what kind of person we are and release the person who is presenting maybe not the best of pictures of themselves on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram. And trust me, we're headed into an economy for the next year where a lot of people are going to get let go. The second part of this topic is for those of you looking for jobs, and again, Mark, you come to mind. You're the one I'm thinking about when I say this. I know when I had my company, we hired thousands of people over the 25 years. My recruiting department looked in detail at how people presented themselves on their social media. Again, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I can't even think of all of them. Rumble. They actually went out and looked And if somebody presented themselves in a way that they felt was inappropriate for our company or our clients, they didn't even get presented to the hiring manager. They got killed. They got killed in the recruiting process before anybody even interviewed them functionally. And if somebody brought a candidate to our company, that was part of the evaluation that my recruiters went through, was what kind of person is this beyond what they say in the interview or on the resume. And a great way to see what a person consists of is to go see how they present themselves out to the world on the internet. So we have to be, you should at least be thoughtful of how you're presenting yourself to the general public on your social media feeds, all of them. You know, you can't say, well, on YouTube I'm going to present myself one way, but I'm going to be clean on Facebook and really clean on Instagram. You have to present yourself, or be aware how you present yourself across all the social media feeds. You know, we have to be careful what we wear. We have to be careful. Do we swear? Are we bitching and complaining all the time? Or is that does that factor into a lot of our videos? I know this is offensive. I get it. It's offensive to think I can't use my social media feed the way I want to, whenever I want to, however I want to, because it's my time, it's my space. And that may be the world we want to live in, but that is not the world we live in. The part of how companies evaluate us for jobs, careers, promotions, is how we present ourselves, sort of even as an ambassador to the company, whether we want to hire you, promote you, or keep you. I know that can sound offensive, but I'm telling you, I've been around a lot of CEOs, a lot of hiring managers, and a lot of recruiters over the last 30, 40 years now, really. And it plays a role. And, you know, if you're going to get on the field, you got to play the game by the rules. You can't hate the rules and then wonder why, or ignore the rules and then wonder why you're not winning at the game. So this is where I come into Mark. I'm kind of talking to Mark for a minute, but I kind of want, it's a good generic conversation people hear, because I like to hear what you guys think too. Mark, I'm not picking on you, by the way, and I know that's 2 subjects in a row that you've been my subject material, the travel in the U.S. and the use of social media. So Mark, I know you're out looking for a job. You say it, you talk about it almost every video now, that you're out hunting for jobs and not just sitting on your ass, I think is what you said. That was pretty funny. But when I've been watching, I think I've watched every YouTube video from you for 3 years now, and I'll tell you, the image you put out on your YouTube channel is not one that's too appealing for people to hire. You spent a lot of time complaining when you were working the warehouse. You have a lot of videos where you're bitching and complaining and saying that they were unfair and that they discriminated against you, and you spent a lot of time talking about that. And now with your current job, you're kind of doing the same thing. You complain a lot about they're idiots, they don't know what they're doing, they're discriminating against you, they're treating you unequally to the other drivers. And now you're starting to talk about your current job hunt, and you're saying that everybody you're submitting resumes to are, you calling it ageism, but you're making this formal declaration that they're all discriminating against you because of your age. And so that's a pattern of 3 things where you're making it very clear that you like to bitch and complain about leadership, and you're very quick to go to discrimination. And those are 2 areas where companies looking to even think about hiring you will step away from you, because it's far easier to say no to you, just not address you in an interview or in a resume screening process, than to deal with those issues once you're an employee. So I'm just worried that a lot of your past YouTube videos are making you very unappealing to anyone who wants to think about hiring you. Totally not my business. It is totally your life. I just don't know if anyone's ever said that to you. Most of us are like, oh, you're right. we're all with each other. We're all like, oh man, great video. Really enjoyed it. Love watching it. Very entertainment. Even I'm like, hey, the rant videos are the best ones. But I'm not looking for a job. So I just want to be honest with you and say, I love your videos. They're very entertaining. I watch every one. I usually watch them all to the last minute. I love your rants. I love when you go off. But I really do believe you're hurting yourself in the job hunt. Anyway, you might not have made those connections. So, Mr. Helpful, checking out. Yeah, I just tore my wrapper. But it's stuck to the inside of the band. But look how thin the wrapper is. When we talk about our wrappers, look how thin that is. The binder showed up right underneath it. So that is the wrapper. Look how thin that is, blown in the breeze. Pretty crazy. That's how come we split them, blow them, and all that. So I'm pretty sure it'll stay airtight. But yeah, so far so good. Anyway, I just wanted to show it to you. It's kind of rare that I have a chance to show you how thin a wrapper is. Fuentes are always this thin, even thinner. I mean, like tissue paper thin. Anyway, enough on that. Just wanted to show it to you. All right, guys, move on to the next topic. Our second topic I told you was going to be on the investment side, so investment school a little bit. So, guys, we are in for a long, tough ride, in my opinion. There might be a miracle out there, but I have a feeling, I mean, they're talking about the U.S. being in recession in the third and fourth quarters of this year. That means all the way through Christmas into New Year's. And sometimes the markets will turn partway through the last quarter of a recession. So if that's true, markets might turn by the end of October or November. But I believe we're in for a very long 6-7 months. And so you have to learn how to make money going down, right? And 401ks and pension plans don't really allow you to do that. So you have to do that in your own funds. So, how to short futures, how to buy puts. I mean, you can go into a regular standard brokerage account and buy puts and make money going down. I follow a channel called Stock Moe, M-O-E. He's a little annoying. He's a little bit repetitious, but he's a pretty damn good trader. And I bought into his Discord site, and I've been doing live trades with him the last couple of weeks. And I made $2,500 shorting the Qs. So I'm going to speak lingo for you a minute, and if you want to ask me questions about it, that's great. So I made $2,500 today from 12:30 to 12:45, shorting the Qs on the 1-minute chart. I did 5 trades. Completely amazing. Made $700 last Thursday. I made $500 last Tuesday, just working with the Stock Moe way to do it. So I found that pretty cool. So I was buying puts on the Qs on the 1-minute chart, and I did 5 trades in about 15, might have been 20 minutes, but I don't think so. So learn how to make money going down, because then you don't really care. Because if your 401k is going down, but you're making good money in your trading account, at least you're evening it out, and you're not having a total loss this year. So if the lingo bugs you, or if you don't understand that sentence, just ask me questions, or do some homework, figure it out. But buying puts on the Qs on the 1-minute chart. Now, you have to have the time. If you're doing it at work, you got to do it during your lunch hour, where you can close the door or whatever, because you have to do that. I mean, it's real time. It's happening like by seconds. So it's not something that you can fire and forget. Like most of my swing trades over the course of those 2 or 3, 4 day trades, that's called swing trading. I can do that. I can fire and forget. I can do it in the morning and then come back and look at it the next morning. This is not that. This is, you got to be staring at it. You can't be taking phone calls. You can't be distracted by email. You can't be distracted by your wife or your kids or your dogs. You can't try to eat. You can't be drinking. You can't go to the bathroom, right? You have to be focused. Like if you're going to do this for 20, 30 minutes, you got to be ready. you got to prepare the environment so you can stare at the screen and take immediate action while you're doing it. So that's the downside. All right, so the second part of the second subject. So this is part 2, investment item number 2. Somebody asked me a great question, and that was, how do I know when to get out of a trade? Either it's gone against me and it's giving me too much pain, I've got to get out, or it's gone with me and I'm ready to take profit. So essentially the question is, how do I set my take profit targets and how do I set my stop loss targets? And I thought that was a great conversation. It's really a complex, detailed answer. So I'm going to take a shot at it here. And if there's enough interest, if you guys ask me questions or tell me you want to see it, I'll put my camera up and I'll show you my trading screens and I'll give you some real life examples of what I'm talking about. A lot of jargon, a lot of lingo. Don't know if I can, put it down into English without too much lingo. So if I don't do a good job of talking about it, if I don't do a good job breaking the lingo down, throw me some questions, point it out, tell me you want to see it done on the screens, and I'll bring you into the office in the paddock. And you've seen the screens behind me, but I'll bring it up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh boy, guys, this is going to be a long video. It's 31 minutes already. This is going to be the long discussion. So I'm going to keep it short and then maybe take you into the screens tomorrow. But so how do you know when to get in or get out? The most important thing you can do is know what you're looking for before you enter the trade. Okay, so I'm going to use me as an example because I can't advise you on you. I have no idea who you are or anything about your experience level, risk tolerance, gut checks, emotional intelligence. I just don't know anything about you, so I can only talk to you about what works for me. So I've told you my goal for my day trading is $1,000 of profit per trading day. That gives me roughly $250,000 a year in day trading profits. So when I enter a trade, I'm hoping to get a $1,000 profit. So there's my take profit goal. And so if I'm looking, so my goal is, the saying is, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. And so being a pig, I want a $1,000 return on a 30% gain. That's a pretty simple rule, right? And so if I put $3,000 into a trade, I hit my 30%, I take my $1,000 and I get out of the trade. Even if the trade could double or triple that, I don't trust the market, to be honest. So if it's gone my way enough to hit my target, I just take it, because it could reverse and go the other way and cause me pain when I could have just taken my profit. So there's a very simple rule. $3,000 in, 30%, take my $1,000, be done. Take my $4,000 out, my $3,000 investment and $1,000 profit, and get out of the trade and be done for the day. To do that, before you enter a trade, you have to understand the story you believe you're investing in. And so I'll show it to you tomorrow. Currently, I've shorted the dollar index, the DX, if you want some lingo. I've shorted the DX 3 trading days ago, and it's going against me. But I believed at the time, with all the shit going on with tariff discussions and trade wars, that we're weakening the belief in the US dollar right now. And so therefore, and the dollar's been coming off. So I said, well, it's going to keep going. And so I put my investment in, and now I've had to watch it go against me for 3. Today's the 4th trading day. I think it didn't really go with me. So the thing I have to look at is my story invalid? Has the market, the world, the fundamentals changed in telling me the hypothesis, the story that I went in on? Is it now wrong? Is that no longer a valid story? The pattern is broken, if you want to hear the lingo. And I might as well get out, because it's just going to keep going against me. So with the dollar, I don't believe that's true. I believe the trade wars are actually getting worse, not better. and it's just having a technical bounce because it was too oversold. There's more lingo for you. The RSI was too low, the MACD was too low, and the technicals overrode the fundamentals, and we're getting a bounce in the dollar right now. I believe that's still to be true. I'm not exiting the position yet. So the question is, how much of a loss can you take in here before you get emotional? If you get emotional over it, you got to set a target. Like if I'm more than $1,000 in loss, I'm going to get out. That's just a rule. I don't follow that rule. I don't use stop losses in the system because I believe the bots see your stop losses and run it to your stop losses. So I don't use them. They have to be in here. They have to be in here. So that's, in short, that's how I do it. I come up with my story, my thesis, my belief. I put about $3,000 in it looking for a $1,000 profit at 30% and get out. If it goes against me, I have to ask, is the pattern broken? Is the story changed? And if so, let's just get out of it and take the loss. So the part that gets more art than science is, let's say you still believe your story, your hypothesis like mine, the dollar will continue to erode. But the other saying we have to be aware of is that the market can remain illogical longer than we can remain solvent. And so at some point you have to say, I still believe in my story, but the market just isn't doing what it's supposed to. And that's the other thing they say is the market's designed to create the maximum pain for the maximum number of people. So it behaves illogically many times just to take people's money. So the question that you have to answer for yourself is, how much loss can you take before it just becomes you can't sleep at night? It's all you think about. You're just watching it. And so the rule in the professional trading world is you should make the upside should be 3 times the downside. So there's a if you just want a stupid simple equation, which means if I'm trying to make $1,000, once it's gone more than $300-400 against me, I should get out. I don't do that, but in fact, I'm more the other way around. I'll let it go 1,000, 2,000, sometimes even 3,000 against me if I think the story is right, because then when it does turn and start to do what I expect, I add on. I don't add to losers as going against me, but when it turns and starts to validate what I believe should happen, I'll add on, and then I'll get my $1,000 earlier, or I'll add on and just take a much greater profit when it does exactly what I thought it was going to. It's a rough answer. I know we like really easy, just calculator robot, and I don't, that doesn't work well for me. So $3,000 into a trade, looking for 30%, gets me my $1,000. If it goes against me, I start getting nervous at the $2,000, $3,000 limit, and sometimes I take it there. It just depends on if the market continues to move against me. Then I have to decide. And usually by about $3,000 loss, I'll get out. But we'll see what it looks like. I'll show you because I'm still in the DX trade. So I'll probably still be in it tomorrow. Now maybe it'll crash overnight because futures trade basically 24 hours a day. But I doubt it. So we'll still have something to look at tomorrow. So that's it. Hope that helps. If I just confused the hell out of you, just ask me questions or ask me some more details, and I'll continue to talk about this. But that's enough for now. All right, guys, that's enough. I've talked way too long. The video is way too long, but I wanted to treat both subjects very seriously, and sometimes it's hard to do that in abbreviated short format. I could have broken this up, I guess, into 3 videos, but it's not my style, is it? All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Hope you had a great Tuesday. Good start to the week. You got 2 days in. We're We're almost a third of the way through April. So, time, man, it rolls, doesn't it? So I owe you guys a goals update. So I'll get on that. I owe you a humidor update, but I got to be in the paddock to do that. And that's it, you guys. So may God bless your lives and those of the lives around you. May God turn his ear to hear your prayers. May God make his face shine upon you and those around you. And may he bless your lives as much as he's blessed mine. All right, guys, that's it. Talk to you tomorrow on Wednesday. Good night, everybody.